Fees Must Fall activist Kanya Cekeshe is telling you will know if he can go home by Monday. Judgment in his bail application will be delivered then. Cekeshe is serving an 8-year sentence with 3 years suspended for damaging property during the student protests in 2016. His legal team want him released on bail pending an appeal of his conviction and the sentence. Our reporter Stindela Masikane has been tracking this matter. Slee with me now in studio to talk more about what's unfolded today. So the defense, Cekeshe's legal team, laying out quite an expansive argument today, in court, but he's still not free yet.
Still not free yet, but in this particular instance, at least he will know by Monday whether he will be released to go home while his legal team fights his conviction and sentence, or whether he's going to remain behind bars. But what we really saw today was the formal bail application after it was moved back to the Magistrates Court last week from the High Court roll. And we heard arguments before the very same magistrate who sentenced Kanya Cekeshe to that 8-year sentence as well as that conviction. And so we saw Advocate Tembeka Toby basically just putting forth a little bit of what he will be saying during the appeal of his sentencing and conviction, because in this state, in this particular application, he didn't have to put forward his full argument, saying that he only has to show to the magistrate that there are reasonable prospects of success of his appeal actually being successful. And so he told the magistrate that there are a litany of mistakes that happened in terms of the way Cekeshe's trial was conducted, in terms of the way he was poorly represented, and the fact that there was a poor administration of justice.
So a miscarriage of justice, essentially.
Essentially, saying that they picked up around 18 mistakes in terms of the poor legal representation that he got. His lawyer constantly arrived late for court, sometimes wasn't making coherent arguments, and so really ensuring that Cekeshe doesn't get the best legal representation in terms of his trial, and also stating that no lawyer in his right mind would have actually advised Cekeshe to even plead guilty in the first place.
Let's move on then to how the state is responding to all of this, because they are now faced with the accusation from Cekeshe's legal team that they participated in a trial that essentially was unfair, and that even the sentence meted out to this young man does not suit the crime.
Exactly. So what was very strange was that the state started off by saying that they didn't have enough time to prepare for this particular application, and it seems that Cekeshe's legal team almost forced the state to come to court today because the magistrate, I have to add, was quite upset at the fact that he says he was not even informed that there was a bail application on his roll. He says he only found out about it literally as the court processes were beginning, and so it wasn't even furnished with the documents in terms of heads of arguments, in terms of the responding affidavit. Cekeshe's legal team also stating that the state had never even suggested they'd be opposing bail, but arrived today in court saying that they would. The state is saying that just because Cekeshe has lodged an appeal, it does not mean he should be granted bail. And the most they really could say was that there was no miscarriage of justice. The magistrate was correct in the conviction as well as the sentence. That was as much as we could get out of the arguments. But then Cekeshe's team was saying that the mere fact that an appeal has been lodged is reason enough for the magistrate to not only at least consider bail, but the fact that the reasons brought forward in terms of the poor legal representation, the miscarriage of justice, as well as the poor representation, does give enough reason for the judge to at least consider granting the bail, especially because there are reasonable prospects of success.
Let's speak then about the human interest angle, if you will, to this story, because we've seen over the past week really the Cekeshe family's heartbreak put on display in and outside of that courtroom. The mother speaking today, I understand. Yeah,
the mother speaking today. And in fact, I've been in contact with Matakazi for a couple of months now. In fact, ever since we found out that an appeal was lodged and was going to be successful in terms of the High Court granting Cekeshe's legal team the right to appeal it. And today she was hoping she was going to go home with her son. You know, you could see it in her eyes that she was essentially heartbroken, close to tears, saying that all her son did essentially was, you know, fight for free education. And
we have some of that.
And we have some of that. So let's just take a listen to what she had to say.
I think as a mother that the justice system of South Africa is really failing us. That's how I feel. As a mother, really, I didn't even want to talk to you guys today because I'm really sad. I'm on the verge of tears right now because I had hoped that I would be taking it home. And what we wanted for him. I mean, he's just a child who was fighting for better education in terms of fees for everybody, you know. And we all know that in South Africa, studying in high education is very, very expensive. So he was just there to assist, you know. And unfortunately, this is where he is today. It's really sad. It saddens me. All we want as his parents is to see him in class, studying. We want to see him successful. That's all we want.
All right, Sindile Masikane, our reporter tracking the Kanya Cekeshe matter back in court on Monday the 14th.
For judgment, definitely.
All right, Slee, thank you so much for that.